We'll start with the invocation of the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone, please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, I'd like to open Citizens Forum. Seeing that we have no speakers, I'm going to close open forum. Next item we have on the agenda is approval of our minutes dated August 12th, 2024. So please take a minute to see if there's any corrections to make at this time. These are the minutes. Everyone good on minutes?
Make a motion to accept.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second.
Second. Any discussion? All right, motion passes and minutes approved. Next item on agenda is agenda item number 2, presentation of 2025 board meeting schedule. As of now, we have Monday, February 10th, Monday, May 12th, Monday, August 11th, and Monday, November 10th. We meet 4 times a year. All of these are on Mondays at 6 p.m. The only change I would recommend possibly making with the board's approval is to move the Monday, November 10th meeting a week prior to Monday, November 3rd, just because our staff has to work the next day at the Veterans Day ceremony, and that way they don't have to stay longer. So that's my only recommendation.
You said the 10th to the 3rd?
To the 3rd.
Right.
Is there anything in the bylaws that preclude us from moving them around a little bit?
No, it just makes it easier if it's more consecutive. So, I mean, we can keep it the way it is. They just have to go and work early the next day.
I mean, that's what we did this year too. I mean, this meeting was supposed to be next week.
Yeah, but it fell
Actually,
on Veterans
yeah.
Day, actually. This is just the day before, so.
I don't see an issue with that.
I can make a motion to change it to November 3rd, 2025.
Okay,
We need to.
okay. Any discussion on this item?
Second.
More? I just think it's a good compromise for everyone, so that's why. Okay, so I think we're ready to vote, accepting our quarterly meeting dates to how they are presented with the one change of moving the Monday, November 10th, 2025 meeting to Monday, November 3rd, 2025 at 6 p.m. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Okay, next item on the agenda is agenda item number 3, van tour discussion. So I asked for this item to be on the agenda. I know Pam came a couple of years, 3 years ago, and we did this. And Chip and I discussed a couple of different dates, and we both thought maybe it'd be better just to do it before the meeting like we did before, if you remember.
I do.
We met here at 4, but we departed at 4:15. So we could do that again, but we're also open to hearing different times and days as well. And we wouldn't go to every park, just maybe 2 or 3, so. What do you guys feel like?
I feel like that's fine.
Okay, you would rather just meet before the meeting, or,
Sure.
okay, that sounds good too, okay. All right,
So is that the February 10th meeting?
yes.
Okay.
So we'll, same deal, meet,
February 10th, we'll meet here in the parking lot right next to State Street.
and the time that works, good, 4,
4 o'clock.
and then just depart by 4:15? Okay. All right.
As many of the parks as we can, depending on traffic.
All right. Okay, so we will do that. Any more discussion?
Just, I had one comment.
Sure.
It will get dark, of course.
So December 21st is the earliest.
Oh, right.
So it would be getting late
Oh,
by the
sure,
time.
sure.
We did
Yeah.
look up at the schedule,
Yeah,
and I
we
think
would actually be in here, 6:18, I think, is
Oh,
when it says.
perfect.
it'll be before sunset, yeah.
Oh, perfect.
But good call, though.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so I'm closing agenda item number 3 and moving on to agenda item number 4, Parks and Recreation Community Survey. So Chip, you have the floor at this time.
All right, so if some of you remember in the past, we conduct an annual Parks and Rec survey to get a feel for the community needs from a recreational standpoint. I did meet with Tatiana on 2 instances to develop the survey. So the initial meeting, I provided printouts from other municipalities around the country and what they had used for their surveys, try to pull some of the questions from there. And then we also utilized the questions from the survey that we had done previously, which kind of helped us to get a good general feel of community needs. So Tatiana and I looked through those. We met on a second occasion. She came back with some recommendations. We kind of tweaked it from there. The goal was to keep the survey relatively short. Some of the surveys that we had researched had 30, 40 questions. We didn't want to put that kind of pressure on people to take that time to do those. We feel we'll get more response with a shorter survey and kind of fit the needs that we're looking to achieve. So the questions that we are proposing are in front of you in the packet. I'll give you guys a little bit of time to review those. We're looking at ages of household, what are the important amenities to them in a park, asking them to list activities that they enjoy, what kind of special events, where they feel most important to them and their family, maybe some improvements, how do we get their information, how would they rate their overall satisfaction with our events. One of the new questions, number 12, if additional programs for different age groups are important to them, pick the age group, and then what is the best time for programming that particular age group to them. So that helps us kind of tweak our scheduling. And then just interested in what kind of barriers are there to keep them from visiting us or participating in our activities. And there's a easy question about overall satisfaction. I think last year was 10 questions. This one has 5 more, 15. But I think they're good questions that'll give us some good feedback. So unless you have some tweaks or other ideas or whatever that you'd like to see in there, after we review it, let me know. You guys can discuss it. Again, this is your survey. I'm going to again put that together. When I put that together. So take a look and let us know. Again, the goal is to keep it concise. The method of survey has been in the past where the Parks and Rec Advisory Board will go out into the community. I have a calendar here that you can sign your names to an associated day. It doesn't have to be for any particular length of time. It's more of they're intercept surveys. So you would go into a park and you would say, "Hi, my name's Amber Stevens. I'm with the Parks and Rec Advisory Board." You have your shirt. We're doing a survey on community desires for recreational programming. Would you like to take our survey? And we'll have a laminated card that has a QR code, and they can just scan it right with their phone. Takes them right to the survey. We'll also provide you with paper surveys as well. If people are like, "Yeah, I just only go on my phone," well, then here's a paper survey. And then we'll also be on our website where we can, and we'll do social media posts, which will redirect people to the survey itself. And then, yeah, so really what we're looking for is some interaction from the board in the community at some of our events and at some of the parks at different times throughout the 3-month period. We would start the survey once we determine the questions are good and we get those developed and finalized. We'll go ahead and we'll make that electronic survey and get that ready to go out. We're looking November the 19th through January the 20th, I think it was. It's the day before the holiday, so it's the 19th. I think it's the 19th. Yeah, January 19th. So November 19th through January 19th.
Yeah, real quick, that's the same way we did last time. You had okay. Do we have an extra one of these? We're missing a couple here. I just got one, but she doesn't have one. Do you have one?
Yeah, okay, I think so, but I'll check. Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Can we add one more question on there to ask if they like our sandbox?
Our sandbox.
Box is what I meant. At the beach.
Did it survive? I never checked.
So, Chip, I have a question, and it's not directly related to this, but it's, and so you can, if it's not the right time, just correct me. I was wondering, I know the old Mobley Bay Park, I believe there's a charge for that park, the use of that park. Am I correct on that?
The only charges that we have for parks is the parking area at
Yes.
Mobley Beach.
Okay,
So that
yeah.
requires either a resident parking permit
Okay,
or a daily pass, which is $5.
okay.
And then the spray park, but that's only from April to October.
Okay.
Cypress Forest during that time period.
Okay. So why is there a charge for the beach park?
Because residents pay taxes to the city, which
Yes.
goes to the use and maintenance of the park. And
Yes.
we found that we have a lot of visitors from outside
Okay.
of Oldsmar to come to visit that park. And, you know, we encourage residents to purchase a pass. It's $2.
Okay.
$2, and that's good for a year.
Okay.
So they bring in substantial revenue. I remember.
So how is that actually enforced? Is it an honor system?
It's an honor system.
Okay.
There's a pay-by plate. You put your money in, you get a receipt, you put it in the windshield. And, you know, sometimes if Pinellas County Sheriff's Department, they go down and they'll check, or staff, right? So it's an honor system.
The reason why I ask is because I've been down there on several occasions where there's not much honor. And also, there's a couple people that, I don't know them, but some people do go down there with their large dogs and just let them run loose.
So dogs are permitted in the park, but they have to be on a 6-foot
No
leash.
leash.
They're
And
not permitted.
there's
on-
no leashes on these.
Yeah.
We run into that at all the parks. It's
I'm sure it's hard. Yeah, I'm sure it's hard. And I did notice that, you know, they come and go freely, and I was, of course, under the impression that there was some type of payment, and when I've been there in months past, I see the same vehicles. And
I mean, unfortunately, I think it's just the Pinellas police that have to be there to ticket them.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I would never say anything, but I just noticed, and the dogs, I mean, I've had one just run right up to me, and,
I mean, you can always call the non-emergency number.
yeah.
We have an evening phone that,
I don't do that, you know, and I never make a fuss or anything like that.
You
but
pet the dog?
No, I do not. I'm not a dog
I like them
person.
to come up to me. Most of the time, I have to go up to the dog and get them.
Well, you know, when
Pet
they
them.
run up at you, you're not sure what to do. I just stand there and don't move, and,
I mean, I've called the non-emergency number just because there's been some.
Yeah.
communication with Pinellas County Sheriff's Department, especially sometimes on the weekends when it gets nice out, where people come to the beach and they have big congregations, which is fine.
yeah.
But we want to make sure that they're following the park rules.
Sure,
and
sure.
parking.
I just wondered if the gate there, that arm would maybe help, or there was like, an arm before you enter the park, like a lot of parks have. So you put in the ticket or scan it, or, you know, before you enter.
Yeah, I think it's easier from us, and from a financial standpoint as well as from is an enforcement
Yeah,
type of situation.
okay. You answered my question. Thank you.
I got a question, Chip. I don't, just, I've heard, I've been in Oldsmar for a long time. Well, how is that water over there to swim in? I mean, how is that water to swim in over there by Mobley Bayou? Is that by the power plant there? Am I thinking of something different?
So our environmental services team, they do water tests frequently out there, and then and they will post signage. That there's a sign out there that dictates, you know, says what the water quality is, or says, or, you know, it's recommended that you don't swim, or, you know, it's the beach is, however. But we do have signage that's out there, and it is tested.
Oh, that's good.
How often do they test?
You go on the website and it shows.
Yeah.
It does.
I know people have been swimming out there years ago, back in the 80s and 90s, but I know they had an issue back there with that flesh-eating bacteria, whatever, I think somewhere back there one time, and
Well, and
kind of why I don't go there.
the knowledge that I've received is that is Vibrio it's everywhere. It's not just there. It's everywhere. It's in water, and actually, the health department does not test for that Vibrio because it's everywhere. It's just the way that it is. That bacteria is everywhere. But they test for E. coli and such. So yeah.
Okay.
Great. Going back to the survey, for number 2, you have, are you a current Oldsmar resident? Do you think we can make that later in the survey? Because I think before we had talked about it being later because it might defer people from answering, like, oh, I'm not a resident, so I'm not gonna.
You can put it wherever you guys want.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Yes. Okay.
Or just, yeah, I don't know if it has to be the very end, but closer to the end at least.
Okay. You can put put 1 and 2 at the end, and that way we'll close out.
Okay. That way, 3 is first, where, yeah, what's most important to you. Yeah, I think more people will be more interested in answering. Positive, what do you like?
That works.
Number 8, what specific type of recreational cultural programs would you like to see? Could we maybe give them some choices?
That's gonna be an open box.
Okay.
It'll be an open box there.
Yeah, as I think in the past, some people wanted some more open
Yeah.
to write in,
Okay.
so that's probably why your logic was like that way. I'm glad on number 10 you included all the different social media sites.
Yes, that's important. How about, I guess, Instagram, Twitter?
Was there one that says, how many have you participated this past year? No, but, yeah,
I think number 9 and number 14.
I don't want to do too many, so.
I think number 9 and number 14, after looking at this again, are probably synonymous, so we could probably scratch 9 and just go with 14. It's asking somewhat the same question.
Okay, yeah. And I think before, like, some people skip that question. Like, if they are participating, they didn't answer that question. I think that was the comment before.
I like 14 better anyways.
Yeah.
There's more, yeah, choices. Okay, so right now we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, and then move 1 and 2.
And then we'll remove 9 since that's,
Right,
yeah, so we'll have 14 total questions on the survey.
okay. Is everyone good with that, or any other suggestions?
Could you repeat, we're eliminating 9?
We're eliminating 9?
This is the same as 14.
In 14, you have the options that you can check, so. I think
Barriers.
More people would,
And then it has other in there as well, so if people needed to answer, they could answer in the other section.
all right, I'm satisfied with it. Looks good to me, so thank you. Everybody else?
Here's question 13.
13? Oh, you're right.
There is no 13.
There is no 13.
13. I see it.
It's
like
unlucky.
it's like not having a number 13 on an elevator.
Yeah.
All right, we'll eliminate 13.
I'm self-conscious, just okay.
So are
So
you
what would the total number of questions be then?
13?
So there's 11,
me make
that's
sure.
13, and then,
A question, is there somewhere on here where it says, what improvements could you see in our parks?
Any suggestions, yeah, like
Suggestions,
suggestions,
yes.
yeah, of what maybe we could do.
Is that 7? Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
It's a long list, so
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Okay,
I-
yeah,
I
there it
didn't
is,
see
there's
that.
3.
if money was available, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the question. All right, any more discussion on that? I'm good with it if everyone else is.
It's pretty thorough. Got dates.
You want a motion to approve it? And then
Yes, can I get a motion to approve the questions that we have?
Motion?
Second? Any other discussion?
I'll second it.
Okay, no more discussion? All right. Everyone say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes.
one thing I will do to follow up is I'm gonna pass around this calendar. If you guys just wanna write your name, your initials, your name, and a couple of them, 3, 4. We don't have to fill up this whole chart. It's just a suggestion to get people out and about. So,
Are you hoping we get 2 or 3?
and will you then send an email,
And
follow,
then
how,
I'll type it in and I'll send it out. We'll send it out.
you'll send, okay, it'll come through.
How many
Jenny.
should we sign up for, like 2 or 3, or?
2, 3, 4, whatever you feel like, you know, you don't have to fill out 7 or 8 or 10, just like 3 maybe would be good, and that way that's 15 right there.
And then how do we get do you say we get some kind of a paper, a laminated, how will we get that?
Yes, what we'll do from here is, now that we have the questions, we'll go back, we'll retype everything we'll move things around, we'll get it set, we'll get it into the system electronically, into our survey generator, and then what we'll do is, we'll have the QR code, And then what I'll do is I'll provide hard copies and the QR codes to Jenny, and then you guys can come by and pick those up. They will be laminated for you.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, I'm closing agenda item number 4, moving on to agenda item number 5, new business. So today I'll start on my left with Steve Phillips. Do you have any new business?
Can I give you that?
Yes, I do. And maybe it's something that's been on my mind for a little while I was going to bring up, but as far as in the evening for, I hate to say senior citizens like me, but just adults in general, do we have anything in this city like there's something for seniors to do in an evening, like an early evening, like 7 o'clock to 9 or something like that?
Most of our programming for seniors has been in the morning time because that's when they feel like safer to drive, and it's one of the reasons for
They don't want to do things at night.
traveling. But what this survey will do, with some of the questions in there, will ask that same question of
You know,
what time.
when I go on, like, well, not just cruises, but when I go on cruises and stuff, you see a lot of senior citizens, they like to play these music trivia games and stuff like that, and, I don't know, it's something I'd be interested in doing, possibly, in an evening with other people, have like maybe a 7 to 9, an evening activity where people can come out and just have a different genre of music and play, music bingo or music trivia, guess the song or guess the artist or stuff like that. I mean, that would be interesting to me. And, 7 to 9 would be a reasonable time, I think, for something like that. That's my feelings. I would like to kind of see something like that if there was enough interest,
Sounds good. We can John and I will talk about it.
Tie into
and
that.
As we develop from the survey and that's in there, we can certainly look to see if there's any traction on it, for sure.
Tying into that, were you finished? I didn't mean to interrupt. I wasn't sure if it was finished. The library, is that available to us in the evening for something like a music trivia or?
I can't speak for the library and their programming, but they do programming. I know that.
Right, but I wondered if we could,
But,
yeah.
Tico Hall is there.
Sure.
Should be utilized.
At the library, because it's safe parking, it's
Right.
easy for accessibility.
Yeah, I mean,
The
it could
library's
be-
very easy.
It could be
mean that-
something very simple, I got, there's other things, but I have a little wireless speaker about that big, you just turn on your cell phone, play a song, and it plays it over the speaker, and you can make it as
Sure.
loud as you want or as low. And, just, people could play a different song on their cell phone, and, people could guess the name of the song or the artist or what year it came out, or, just, I would like it, that's me personally, stuff like that. I like to kind of play games, and I like music. I like I like all genres except for one. I won't mention what kind of music that is, but
We can guess.
I think you can
Though
guess.
Chico Hall, I wondered if that's ever available to us.
It is,
Hall.
but there is programming there.
I do, I understand, right,
So
right.
John would have to fit it into the
Sure,
schedule. But
sure.
Even, I guess even the rec center over there, they have one room over there in the rec center too, something like that would work too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The library is staffed, so that's easier for us. State Street isn't typically staffed in the evening.
right.
Right.
It's at Cypress Forest or Tico, either one.
Yeah,
At the library, safe and accessible,
yeah.
well lit, in the evenings, I was just thinking. They're open till what, I think 8?
8.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. When you're talking about evening programs at the library, you're saying within those library hours or after library hours?
I would presume not interrupting their services, but during library hours, maybe at Tico Hall, I mean.
Because I know Monday and Tuesday it goes till 8 PM, and then the rest of the time it's
Is it
6 PM.
6 or
And
something?
Saturday it's 5.
I can never
I'm
remember.
there a lot.
Yeah. Just food for thought, right? That's good.
Well, the rec center over there is open to what, 9 o'clock?
9, Monday through Thursday.
Yeah, I know they have a room over there that they have a board of directors meeting in for the Gardens Forest Lakes. And I don't know what other nights it's available, but, that room would be big enough unless we get a lot of people, then we can move it over and take the whole Pico room up.
Yeah, John and his staff will look at the schedule.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
And I'd sent some ideas to Chip a while ago about some senior programming, so some of those are kind of like what you said, so maybe the survey will enlighten that.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's other, adults or senior citizens, I hate to say it, that might be interested in, getting together in the evening and mingling with people and listening to music and, I think anyway. I'll go listen by myself if I have to in the room.
can go with John in the morning, State Street. Anything else for me, Stephen, on new business? Nope. Okay. Tina, do you have any new business?
Not right now, nope.
Okay.
I just have a comment. Chip, could I have a copy of this?
Once you guys write it in, I'm gonna type it in. and
Oh,
then we'll
because
PDF it and
I don't have a calendar in front of me, but I'd love to, and actually maybe come more than I think I can.
I'll send it to you tomorrow so you have that.
That'd
and
be
then-
wonderful. Thank you so
Is there a
much.
reason Sheffield Park isn't on there?
Yeah, you guys can look first. Give it back to me. Sheffield's not on there?
What's that?
Sheffield?
Oh, yeah, I guess it's not. You should. People go there.
Go back to that number again.
Okay.
Same calendar that we used the previous survey. I just copied and pasted it, so maybe it wasn't on there the first time, but we'll add it.
Okay.
Surprised it's not on there. Okay.
My neighborhood, so.
Yeah.
Is there any time frame or?
No, it's just, that's a day. You guys can pick and choose what time you want to go out there. If you choose like a day that, say that, I'm just making it up because I don't know, but say say December the 17th is on there at 2 different parks. You can sign up for both of those days, just go from one park to the next and do that.
You're expected to be there all day.
Time that you have to stay there. If they're intercept surveys, obviously, in an evening time after work might be a little bit busier, or Saturday might be a little bit busier. So, if you're looking, or after work time might be a little bit busier on a weeknight, and then, mornings or early afternoon on a weekend.
Or if you do it on Celebrate Oldsmar or
Celebrate Oldsmar,
Winter
yeah,
Wonderland, might be a good
Come around.
time to do it. Donna, do you have any new business?
No, I don't think I do. Thank you.
Okay. Dave, do
I
you?
have a question. And I honestly just don't know. How many dog parks do we have in Oldsmar?
Two.
Two.
One at Sheffield and
One at
one at
Sheffield.
Mobley.
At Mobley? Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know.
Yeah, we just expanded the one at Sheffield about a year and a half ago. I want to say a year and a half, 2 years ago. We expanded the size
Okay.
and added an entry gate, a safe entry gate.
And the one at Mobley's so nice. I mean, there's plenty of room for small dogs, large dogs, there's,
We have a small dog park and a
Yep.
larger dog park.
yep, and then there's all kinds of activities for them to do in there. It's really nice.
Okay. Dave, do you have anything else?
That was it.
Okay. Pam, do you have any new
No,
business?
not at this time.
For once, I don't have new business either, so city staff, do you have?
Yeah, I just want to do bring you guys up to speed on a couple of things here. Amber and I had talked at our pre-meeting, and we actually talked today. And I was on vacation. I was out of town on Thursday and Friday, so I'm catching up on everything. And I forgot to bring our award, but I wanted to let you guys know that the Parks and Recreation Department received an award at the 2024 Florida Recreation and Park Association State Conference for agency excellence in community building. And it's a really big award for us and Oldsmar. We submit our application against cities the size of St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Dunedin,
Wow.
Port St. Lucie, Tallahassee, all these other cities around the state. And our application was selected, and we received that award.
Wonderful.
It'll be recognized at the November 19th City Council meeting. And it really just goes to show the efforts that John and Mike and all of our staff, all our supervisors, Richard and Steve and Karen, everybody in our department, our guys down even to the part-timers, how their dedication really helps to build community here in Oldsmar, and that's what our goal is. And this is just a side note, after the hurricanes, we had some, I would say lengthy, but brief discussions on what we were going to do about Halloween and how are we going to approach that. And our team, we're going full force. We're going all out. We know that it's important for the community to get back to a sense of normalcy. And I have to say, these guys really hit a grand slam. If you were able to attend the Halloween event, I mean, boy, they knocked it out of the park. We estimate there was about 1,600 people that came through the park.
Wow.
It was interesting because this year it was it seemed like younger children or families that were there, not like peewees, but more like about the 7, 8, 9s, the 6, 7, 8, 9s. Boy, it was, and what do we have? How many candy stop lane? Over 1,000 people came through the candy trail lane, right? And I think it was close to 900 for the haunted hayride.
Wow.
It was just over 1,000. Haunted hayride's over 1,000. So I mean, what a great time, and that's kind of those are those community building events that we take pride in, and we're very happy to have received that award.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Yep, that's
Well,
amazing.
Yeah.
I guess it's a pretty lengthy process. I don't remember all the steps, but Chip did ask me to write a support letter, so
Recommendation from
I have the letter if anyone wants to read what I wrote, so.
a letter from the mayor. We provide photos, we provide backup information, and it's a process. And I have to say thank you to Joan Byrne, who's in our communication and arts department, who helped put together the book application that we had put together. So thanks to her, and thanks to the staff for all they've done to achieve that award. We talked about the van trip, so that's off my checklist here. Again, I got to commend the staff. Our post-storm for our storm operations, I'm not sure if you guys are aware what happens in Parks and Recreation, but I really want to commend our Parks and Recreation staff for the response and recovery to the storm. Some of our staff spend the night away from their families in the Emergency Operations Center, keep us in the logistics section, and perform functions there that help support the operations while we're in there with all of the other sections who report. And that's kind of, it's worrisome to some of the staff, because you're in a secured building. It's rated Cat 5. I can't hear a thing in there. You can look out the window and see rain and wind, but your families are back at their homes, and it's you got 74-mile-an-hour winds and gusts that are coming, and you're just worried about what's happening back at your house, and you can't do anything because you're supporting the needs of the community, and that's what we do. We sacrifice for that, and I thank John and his staff or John and all the other Parks and Rec staff that were there. After that event, the Recreation Department provided childcare for city employees so they could come back and perform their functions while the schools were closed. The Recreation Department organized and handed out supplies, food, and water over here at State Street and then also over at the library. Our Parks crew, they shift into a role where they fall under Public Works during emergency operations, clearing roads and debris. And then after they get finished helping with the roads, they go back into our parks and they clean up our parks. We had a lot of trees and branches and a lot of stuff that had to be cleaned up after Milton for sure. And then of course Helene. And all the staff, just getting everybody back to a sense of normalcy for our families, to give them a break from the worry, just having to deal with cleanup and all of that stuff with kids and being out of school and all of that stuff. Our staff at the Oldsmar Sports Complex, we hosted a baseball tournament that next weekend. They had the facility all cleaned up. We hosted a 3-day baseball tournament out there. Again, I mentioned the Halloween event. We hosted the Halloween event, which was very well executed by John, Mike, Nate, and Steve, all of their staff. Some of the other things from the post-storm, as you are probably aware, the pier is closed, and the pier is going to be closed for a while. We have to go through a process through our insurance, and then we also have to go through a process with structural engineering, and then we have to have that designed. Then we have to have a company come out to go ahead and rebuild the pier, and there's a lot. Safety Harbors was damaged, Dunedin's was damaged, all these other cities have damage, so it's going to be a process for us to get the pier back open. We're going to work diligently as we can through it, but it is a process. So it's going to take a bit of time. And then we're working on resetting the floating dock that's over at Sheffield Park that came up onto the shoreline during Helene. We've been trying to work to get that done. Looks like we maybe should have that done this week. We're renting a lift. We're going to do it ourselves, rent a lift, and get that back into the water. And then Mike will be working with Easy Dock, who is the builder, manufacturer of that type of dock, to get that reconnected. But again, we're not just the only ones, right? So
Do you think that was partially because somebody removed those anchors?
So they're the kind of dog bowl shaped
Yeah,
pieces that hold
yeah.
together. Those, I think,
Somebody removed them before the storm. Like long before the storm.
okay, yeah, they were not properly, they've not been properly connected for
the top of
a
the
little while. There's
Yeah.
actually an identical piece on the bottom of the bolt that connects them.
Right, yeah, I sent Chip a picture of it probably about a month ago. I went fishing with my son. Just a side note, I was just wondering if,
we'll hopefully have that repaired and back in place here soon.
I'm just asking if you thought that was why it came up?
Deliberate or something?
No, do you think that's why it came up on the shore? Was because it was,
Well, did it come off of the post as well?
It probably didn't help.
Yeah.
And the one at Mobley Bayou lifted up all the way up, and actually the posts
Yeah, that's
separated,
the-
so
yeah.
it's
Oh, wow.
raised up above the posts.
Right. That's a pretty good tide to push it all the way up there.
It's 5 feet from my front door.
Yeah. Let's see, moving on, so we applied, back in July for a grant for some equipment, which we found out at the end of August during the storm. We were sitting in the AOC and you started getting emails that, we did receive, some money from a grant. It's called the Trail Go Grant. And what it's gonna allow us to do is to purchase, water fountains, benches and tables, additional, shell for the trail back here down in, Mobley. And that all goes to council on November the 19th. It's going to help offset costs. One of the bigger purchases is a batwing mower, which is how many feet wide?
It's 11 feet.
11 feet wide. This mower is 11 feet wide. It costs $93,000, but it allows our staff to mow more efficiently. And we received a 50% matching grant for that one, so that's going to save us some money there for sure. And then one of the plans with the grant with the water fountains is to start replacing some of the water fountains that are in the parks and along the trails with bottle fillers. So we'll be doing that at, I think, Bicentennial.
Bicentennial.
We're going to be doing it at Sheffield and Ariel Park to start. So that's some good news from us from the grant award. I sent you guys the monthly reports. Those were sent last week, so you get those in 3-month increments. Slower in the summer, not a lot of programming. Obviously, those are July, August, and September. There's not a lot of programming. Mostly it's summer camp. So not too much to report on there. But as you can tell, our event season kicks up here in October, and that'll be in the next series of reports. I sent out the weekend update a week or so ago. Whenever we have an event on the weekend, I'll send that out on a Wednesday, so that gives you guys an idea of, hey, maybe I want to go check out that event at the park. If we don't have anything, or it's not a city event, like for example, Celebrate Oldsmar, I probably wouldn't put that on there because it's not a city event. We'll see. I may include those as well, but we get a lot of those.
Yeah,
coming.
because the Soggy Dog got canceled or
We
something.
moved that, yeah.
Or rescheduled,
We
sorry.
rescheduled that. We're going to reschedule that for March.
What was that? The what?
Balls and Puddles. It was going to be a dog event out at the spray park. We're planning on doing it after the season, but we just went through 4 weeks of the hurricane and recovering from that it would just it kind of caught up to us pretty quickly. So we're going to reschedule that for March before
Okay.
the season, before the spray park season opens up. And we talked about the survey, and sorry that was a little lengthy, but that's all I have from a new business standpoint.
I have a question. So the grant that we received for the parks, so the new mower was about 50,000?
93.
90, but somebody matched that
So
also.
it's through the state of Florida, the Department of Environmental Protection, and they have a number of grant programs. We did the sports complex remodeling through a grant through Department of Environmental Protection. The spray park was done through a grant. So when we see those opportunities, we try to jump on those. The good thing is that they're going to be running that grant cycle again in April. So we're going to apply for some additional things come
Great.
April.
So how much was this grant that you took the,
62, I think it was a total of around 62.
Altogether, yeah,
Yeah.
it was $62,500.
$62,500 that the money that we have, so we have money already budgeted this fiscal year at 100% for those items or projects. This is gonna pay for half of them, so.
Okay.
They're not gonna, yeah.
okay, so the 100 grand was a grant 100 grand? Well, 95.
62,500
62,
was the
okay.
grant, yes.
Okay, and then the mower was like 95.
Yeah, so it was like 45.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we budgeted
Yeah.
half in our budget, $92,000 to buy it, but
Right.
now the state's gonna cover half.
Wow, nice.
Yep.
Okay, two things. In regards to the spray park, it usually opens April 1st, is that correct?
Yep.
I know there's sometimes talk, like, try to open it when the kids are out for school. Is that gonna be something?
On, like when there's a holiday, like a spring break or something?
Like when spring break, open it up early, because I know this past year it got opened up earlier, because there was requests.
Typically, we've been opening in April. We'll revisit that again, and we may open a little bit earlier.
Okay,
Because it does get warmer
okay.
earlier.
And so it's just
Yeah.
people reaching out and saying, hey, can we get this opened early, or what's the process?
Yeah, we'll look at that and consider, we'll look at a date, and then we'll have to do the dog event prior to that. 'cause,
Right.
You know, yeah.
Okay. You can go ahead, I forgot what else I was gonna say.
I don't know whether, I don't know if I heard you correctly. Did you say something about baseball tournaments?
We work with USSSA throughout the year, and Dave can kind of talk about it if you want. But anyway, we work with USSSA throughout the year, and once a month, we host or they host. We provide the fields for a tournament. So they run a tournament once a month throughout the year. Yeah, typically in the spring, and the fall, and the winter. And then at times, Little League has been able to run concessions out there as a fundraiser.
Do they need volunteers for that when we host it?
That's a
For
private organization
concessions?
that does that.
Is what?
For concessions? Or,
For anything?
for concessions, we're always looking for volunteers. The U-Trip.
They need scorekeepers? They have their own scorekeepers?
No, they don't. I mean, they're actually a company. It's not a private thing. It's actually a company, and everybody's, for the most part, paid or volunteers. So like the parents do it, or, whoever's designated. But as far as volunteers for concessions, we're always looking for volunteers.
I don't really want to be in that concession stand. I've done that, I did that back when it was a metal stand, but I like the baseball tournaments and stuff. That's why my
I can always
ears
put you in
perked up when you
contact.
mentioned baseball tournament.
I can always put you in contact with the event organizer, and if you want to volunteer for him, you can go for that.
Okay.
I remember my other question. You did get a little bit more money for the park at Mobley Bayou to expand a little bit more, where you're partnering with Operations Jack's Village, the Fit Zone.
Oh, so the Fit Zone, we worked with Kiwanis. Well, Kiwanis,
Right.
we reached out and applied for a grant through Kiwanis. It was $20,000 to add a couple more pieces to the Fit Zone, and we're just waiting on delivery and installation. They run into some of the same issues. I was hoping to have it in by now, but
You're hoping by the end of the year, or maybe next year?
I'm hoping in November.
Okay,
But I think they reached out to me last week and said we're still anticipating delivery. I'm like, okay, when?
ready to use it.
Ready.
Of course, they say, well, with the recent storms and things like
Right.
that, with other playgrounds that may have been damaged throughout the state or this region, they're going and doing repairs there as well. So
Okay, great. Any other city staff have any new business? It's your chance to talk, John.
I don't usually get invited to talk. It's the other way around. I usually ask not to talk.
Okay. All right, closing agenda item number 4. Moving on to our final agenda item, board comments. So I'm going to start with Donna today. Do you have any board comments you'd like to make at this time?
I can't think of any at the
Okay.
moment. Thank you.
Fine. Dave?
I'd just like to thank the city staff for everything that they do. I know the storms have been a very difficult challenge for you guys. I know when the city sent out looking for volunteers, I considered it, and I considered the fact that I would be separated from my family during the storm, and decided that that wasn't something I wanted to do. So I commend you guys for that, and truly appreciate it. I know that our city was impacted greatly, probably more than a lot of other cities in our area. And I think overall, everybody's done a fantastic job of putting it back together, and thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Pam? do you
And
have- Oh, sorry.
Sorry, one more thing. And don't forget tomorrow, go out and vote.
Thank you for that reminder. Go ahead, Pam.
Just a special thank you to Tanya and Chip for that extra work on the survey, because I'm sure she's not here, but I know it was probably a lot of work, and that's going to be helpful, I think, to see what
Definitely, we
really,
appreciate her help.
yes, and Chip, of course, as always.
All right. Anything else? Good? Okay. Steve, do you have any?
Yeah, I got a question. I feel like I'm in the twilight zone. What happened to everybody last time I was here? There seemed like a lot of new people here, or people disappeared or something.
They just couldn't make it tonight.
Oh, okay. Who is, okay. Because I
We
haven't
spoke
seen
to
her before.
I'm an alternate.
I haven't seen her before, I don't think. And
I've been.
the people that I had were here last time, are not here,
I
so
was
I'm
here
like.
last time.
Well, there are alternates, and they showed up, so now they're helping
Nice to meet you,
tonight.
anyway. Nice
So
to
we
meet
thank you for
too.
that.
I was here last time.
And I just want to reiterate Dave's comments. You guys doing a great job, especially through that rough patch here with that hurricane. Like Chip says, you guys have your own families and you're out here, you're doing what you have to do, and, it's greatly appreciated. And I unfortunately went AWOL. My wife and I took off and went to Baltimore to get out. Well, we didn't really get out away from the hurricane. My wife's sister's daughter had a granddaughter's birthday, 1 year old, and we just left Monday instead of Thursday. But we were gone for the week. But yeah, you guys did a great job cleaning up everything. Do I have to talk to him separately about the hayride for Christmas? I mean, my Christmas is going to be busted if we don't have that hayride. I mean, it's like,
We can't let that happen.
I had so much fun on that last year, and I have so many ideas for this year. I mean, I had them singing Christmas carols on the, and I told the kids, if they don't know it this year, I'm gonna throw them off the hayride and let the Grinch get them in the forest there, so.
John will talk to you. He'll talk to you for an hour and a half. He's done that with me. He's like, wow, he's
Okay.
good. All
I
right.
spoke to Karen Bell about it, and she said contact Chip and him about it, so. That's all.
Yeah, just again, what everybody else said about how proud I am of the city of Oldsmar and everybody working together in the community and our Parks Department, getting the parks cleaned up so fast from all the debris. It was just amazing to see how, I'm just so proud of everybody in Oldsmar for everything they've done. It was a lot to see. It was wonderful. And
And I did see you out there a couple
What's that?
times. And I saw you out there a
Yep,
couple times.
Yep, I think everybody pulled together beautifully, and I know the parks got the parks cleaned up quickly and well, and we thank you for that. And also, I saw a lot of people using the new facility there up at Mobley, the new gym and fitness equipment, and it really looks nice. I happened to be up there when they were doing the magazine shoot for, I just happened to be there with my dog, and so I got to see that, so that was really fun. So it was really nice, so, yep.
All right, thanks, Tina. I have a couple of things. I did get to see Masuda's summer performance. It was good performance. Dancers always do a well job. I'm glad that the city was able to get the grass cut in time, because I remember 5 years ago when I did go, grass was high, mud puddles everywhere and bugs everywhere, so thank you, city staff, for getting the grass cut.
Yep.
I'm also part of the art task force, so we've been meeting to discuss priority places for public art, and those are on the different medians of Park, Lafayette, and Bayside, and possibly behind the rec center, so you might be getting to see some public art
Oh, fun. That would be
in
fun.
those areas.
Great.
And I don't know if anyone saw or heard about the hand sculpture.
About the what?
Is that the one that was?
Oh,
over-
yeah.
There's been discussion about that.
Is that the one that
Yes,
was
yes.
on Oakleaf?
Yes,
I have a picture of me and my son on it.
that one?
this is the hand sculpture. So there's story about that. I won't go into it right now, but it's at your building right now. It's supposed to is it standing?
Oh, it looks just like that. It's in the back of the service yard.
I wanted to put it in my backyard, but I wanted it like this.
Another artist did it a while ago. So, yeah, it's gonna stay there because we decided as a team that we didn't want to do the extra spending to find out what it's made out of. We didn't want to spend that city's money. So it's just gonna stay there, so, just so you're aware. And there's potentially gonna be a art advisory board later. It's gonna be something similar to this, meeting 4 times a year, so.
I think that'd be great. Yep. Well,
So it would be, I can give you more details once we actually close our meeting, but it's going to be mostly made up of actual artists and then some art enthusiasts. So if you're interested, you're welcome to apply once
Yeah, I think that'd be
you're able
great.
to. So I'll get you more details about that. And I had the opportunity to help speak at Citizens Academy this past year or September, right before the storms, for Parks and Rec Night. So I just kind of gave an overview of like what our board does and our function. And you guys are probably familiar with Empower Adventures Zip Line. So they had a relief day. So my husband and daughter participated in that, and they had a great time. It was just, they both had an amazing time, and my daughter really liked it because she's lighter, so she got to be with a guide, so she got to go faster. So we thank the Empire Adventure Zip Line for doing that. And we talked a little bit about haunted happenings. I didn't hear anything bad. I heard nothing but positive things. And I'm actually pretty thankful that we didn't have a costume contest this year. There was nothing, it was one less thing to worry about. So I was happy about that. And I mean, my kids and I still dressed up, you 3 saw, and we had a good time. So that might be something to consider still in the future, just because we got to do everything this time. Before, like, we had to rush around. And this was the first time that we did the spooky hayride. And my kids were scared, but I had fun. Well, but then my son said 15 minutes later he wanted to do it again. I'm like, well, you have to wait in line. It's longer now, so no. And just wanted to remind board members, Jenny passed it out, but the Oldsmar Support Services Alliance resources, that's the city partnered with a bunch of different organizations. So if you go to oldsmarstrong.com, it talks about all the different days of things that they're doing and all the different organizations. So just, please share that information because there's still a lot of people that don't know, and we have a lot of resources. So I just would encourage all of you to share all that. And that's really all I have. Thank you, Jenny, for sending out those monthly reports to us, and thank you, Chip, for the weekend updates and everything, and thanks again to city staff for everything they've been doing. So is there any further board comments at this time?
Whose hand sculpture is that? Whose hand is that?
It was an artist in Oldsmar.
And just so, I don't know if a lot of you know that he lived right here on
Right.
Washington. His house is not, no, I actually met him once, so
Okay,
many years
you're
ago.
one of the few.
Yes, and he, yeah, he was a very
Did the
unique
hand
individual.
sculpture?
Yep, and I don't know how it ended up over on Oakleaf, but I do remember when he lived here, and that, I do remember his house right there on Washington, so, yep.
Oh, and one last question. When was that little library put in at Arields Park?
Before the storm.
Okay, it's still there, and people love it, so just wanted to say thanks for that.
The exact date, but it was sometime in September.
Okay, I just remember, I don't remember this being here, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
All right, seeing that there's no more board comments, our next meeting is Monday, February 10th at 6 PM. If you would like, come to the van tour, be here by 4:15.
Say
So
that
with
again?
that, oh, wait,
I, say that last part again, I didn't hear you.
the van tour, we're gonna start that at,
A van tour, okay.
We're doing a tour of the parks. I'm gonna lead a tour of the
Oh,
parks.
oh,
Informational.
what time will
It'll
that
be
start?
4 o'clock, be here by 4:15 on February the 10th, before the meeting.
Gosh, that sounds wonderful. Be there for that.
so you don't have to come, but we would love for you to come.
No, I would love to be there. Looks good.
It's a way for Chip to get out of his office. All right,
You could bring a new little passenger to the baby to the van tour.
no, it's okay.
Probably not.
Okay, so Monday, February 10th at 6 PM. We do need you here by that time.